Well, it probably feels like Christmas morning for many of you. It is go time. It is the 2025 Major League Playoffs. It all starts at 1, which is really cool. Tigers and Guardians with Skubal pitching. There's a 3 o'clock game. The Cubs are home. And then at 6:08, we got it. Red Sox and Yankees kickoff tonight in New York to start the first round of the 2025 MLB playoffs. Welcome to Red Sox Now. First time aboard. Thank you for joining us. It's all presented by FanArch. I'm Mike Antonellis, and my handle on socials, all of them, is at the Radio Mike. It's very original. You'll see my handle commenting all day. I was just commenting on some of your terrific little chime-ins from the Monday show. It was terrific stuff. So we have a great community. We got new people every day. And we're soaring towards, isn't soaring a ride at Disney? I've been on it. It's awesome. Towards 2,000 subscribers. We were hoping to get to 3 for the last Sox game of the year. I wanted 3,000 that's a baseball number, 3,000 hits, 3,000 strikeouts. I'll take 2 as this is the first year doing this. So fantastic stuff. Little bit of a note. Major League Baseball announced this, kind of coincides with what I'm talking about. They've done a lot to grow the game. Third straight year, attendance has gone up. You know, the schedule definitely helps that. I mean, they're not going to tell you that, but it does. Everyone playing everyone. Third straight year of 70 million or more. Third straight year of attendance growth since 2007. Third straight year of more than 70 since 2017. But Dodgers, Padres set franchise attendance records, not surprising. Mets and D-backs, best attendance since 2008. So the D-backs, they got more attendance because of how they've played. Phillies, best since 12. The Reds, best since 15. The Tigers, best since 16. So that just shows you there's a lot of things in other markets. Here, when we wear the Red Sox colored glasses, baseball's, for the most part, bulletproof here. I mean, it really is. In these other markets, people won't go. Like, they'll have half the attendance. That's how Fenway was when I grew up. Red Sox never won, pretty much. And opening day would be sold out. I went to 40 games one year. You could literally drive there. My dad would ask me at dinner, you want to go? We would just drive in after dinner and get tickets. It was that easy. So it's changed here. The winning has changed. And now when the Red Sox dip in attendance, it's a big deal. But I think about the dip in attendance as a kid. They would go years without selling out 5 games. It was bad. But good Major League Baseball, great year. This is great. The playoffs, and it all starts at 1 o'clock. Here's what I love about all of this, and all of you know this. Nothing matters for anybody. Everything is reset to 0. I love this format. The head-to-head records mean nothing. It never means anything. I told you all that. The last series, the Red Sox Yankees, nothing carries over. The games are played completely different. And now, the march to the finish line, it doesn't matter. Things that we talk about during the season about certainly situational hitting, and you're going to play the game differently. You got to do those things. That's a given. You got to play the game the right way. You got to play defensively. But you can win a game on a crazy play, and I don't care. Like if the Red Sox won 2-1 tonight on a 2-out error that scored 2 runs, and they were 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position, and they struck out a ton, that would probably dominate our talk during the regular season. For a playoff game, I don't care. I don't care how you get the wins. Crazy things happen. We've seen it. We all know what happened in 1986, right? The Mets will take it. Now, the Mets had a lot of hits in a row, but it took them a ball between someone's legs to win the World Series, essentially. You know what people forget about that World Series? Game 1 ended. I don't know if people remember. The Mets lost Game 1 to the Red Sox 1-0. The only run was scored on a ball between Tim Tuffle's legs at second base. And Tuffle was playing because they platoon him and Backman. Backman was a better defender. And you know what's even crazier? When I worked in Double-A, Tuffle and Backman were the back-to-back managers for the Mets Double-A club. It's weird. But that was a lot of foreshadowing. So all of this, we're going to see crazy things. And if it helps you get a win, doesn't matter. The format, the more, I was walking around thinking about it this morning. Think about it. It seems unfair, right? To some. I mean, you have to win 2 of 3 on the road. They can do that. But if it was reversed and you hosted 3, is there no pressure? There certainly is. Because it doesn't matter if you're home or away for the Red Sox with your ace. With the Yankees, with their ace. Fried's really good. He's thrown well. I just pulled up his... And again, I know it doesn't matter, but still, it's still him pitching against the Red Sox. 7 innings, 2 runs, 6 innings scoreless, 5 1/3. I think with 2 runs, I think what the Red Sox have done well against him has driven up the pitch count and seen a lot of pitches. It's a good arm, really good arm. But when we look at it, the format, and think it's unfair, I like it because there is instantly importance on the first game. Instantly. So, yes, it's a 3-game series. Essentially, it's really a 2-game series. For the Red Sox, you don't want to get to Game 3. You want to win the first 2. But my point is, if you were at home tonight, the pressure to win that first game with Crochet is the same. It's absolutely the same. You lose that first game at home. Yeah, okay, you get the next 2 at home. But I don't think it changes anything. Of course, the rules are different. When you're at home, you have your last at-bat, so you can win. But I think in terms of the importance of Game 1, I don't think it matters when you have aces facing each other, whether it's home or on the road, in terms of the importance. Right? If the Yankees are playing Game 1 at Fenway and they lose, that's huge. It's just as huge, right? I mean, so I don't know how much importance really home and road makes. Players, they're comfortable playing there. I mean, obviously, in your own place, but I mean, I don't think baseball is like the other sports. I know we saw this year with road records weren't great, but I'm just saying the impact of that first game. For me, it wouldn't feel any different if the Red Sox were home tonight. It's still a game you have to have, and it's still going to be a tough game. Which I think the Red Sox would, and Alex Cora, I think both teams would play Game 1 like an elimination game. If you think about it, you almost have to. There's no need to save anybody for tomorrow. Because it's 2 wins. If you hold back on a move that leads to 4 runs and you lose that game, that could be it. So if it came down to a 6th inning, 2 outs, you're leading by 3, and Crochet's laboring and Bellinger's up, he's bringing in Chapman. I absolutely would do it. I absolutely think he would. Why not? Well, what happens at the end of the... It doesn't matter. Terry Francona did this years ago with Cleveland. He brought in Andrew Miller super early, and everyone was like, this has never been done. You have to. Judge, 6th inning, bases loaded. You're up a run. Crochet's looking pretty good. It's a 2-1 game. 2 soft hits and an error. What do? Regular season, you leave him in. Do you bring in Whitlock? It's a huge decision. Well, the numbers, Crochet, true. But Judge has got a few home runs off him. It's a short right field. I'm telling you, this is what's going to be. This is what I love about postseason, because you play the game completely different. How you manage the bullpen, Hitters are going to be different. But I'm telling you, that is going to come up tonight for both teams, and you're going to have to make a very hard decision. And I think even though it's 3 games where it seems longer, it's almost playing it like an elimination game. Especially when you're on the road. Especially if you have their guys coming up. You can't roll the dice. I get Crochet's a Cy Young and all that, but if you go on tonight, hey, you know what? His stuff isn't as crisp. Certain pitch isn't working. You're going to go to that bullpen. 2 outs. You know, earlier in the game, like say this turns into a wacky game. End of an inning. Toley's probably going to come in because when you come in at the end of it with 2 outs, if you get that final out, you don't have to come back. You don't have to face the 3, but you get that guy. Every inning, even in the first game tonight, is going to be like Game 7. It has to be. It really does because your offense is challenged. And this is why playoff baseball, it's like hockey. Hockey's different in the playoffs, and this is why tonight is going to be so intriguing. I'm pretty pumped for it. It's going to be awesome. And it's my younger niece's birthday, so I'm happy for her. I'll be with her. She's into sports big time. So it's pretty cool. All right, keys to winning for Boston and vice versa for the Yankees. I think the Red Sox have the better bullpen, and I don't think they'll be afraid to do that. No doubt you need your starters. Conversely, the Yankees, I think, have starters that can match you. I think when you look at the head-to-head with the starters, if you're a Yankee fan, yes, you have to face Crochet, but you have Fried, who's really good. Right? I mean, he can match Crochet. Rodon can match Bayo. So you could have a combination where all 4 of those guys throw well, and if it comes down to the bullpens, I like the Red Sox. I really do. I think their bullpen's better. But that could change, right? And I mean, you're facing the Yankees. But still, I mean, if we got to look at it on paper. Yankees bullpen has been a lot better, but I think the Red Sox have 2 closers. And I think Whitlock will go 2 innings if he needs to. And Chapman would get 4 outs. So if you can get 10 outs in a game from those 2, that's huge. And then Slayton. Matz has been good. Wilson needs a rest. Toley's going to be part of that bullpen, I would think. They're going to have a lot of lefties. Connolly early. I said Slayton. Zach Kelly, maybe. Now with the injury to Giolito. He's huge. I don't think these teams want to get to a Game 3. The Yankees broadcasters, when they signed out, they said Schlittler will start Game 3. If you get to a Game 3, you could have 2 rookies pitching. Schlittler's been really good for them. How crazy would that be? So obviously the Yankees, I don't think, want these games to get to their bullpen early. They have been a train wreck running the bases. Red Sox haven't been great at times. But defensively, the Yankees have been really bad too. Sometimes that all weirdly changes in postseason. When we look at, but the Red Sox have not been, I mean, we know where they've been. They led the league in errors. They played better near the end, but 116 led baseball. Yankees had 94. They were near the bottom 2. So 2 teams that are not really good defensively. But the Yankees have had real issues in the last month. Those are kind of obvious things, right? So I think the biggest wild card for the Yankees is their bullpen. That has not been good. If they can, if they match everything with the Red Sox, they're going to have an advantage. But I like the Red Sox bullpen in a short series. I think that's going to be a huge advantage. And I think we're going to see, like I said, Whitlock stretched out. To 2 innings. But can't wait. I did this for fun. We'll get to your comments in a minute. I did my Red Sox awards for 2025. I want you to leave them in the comments. I made an award for Story because I have to give Crochet the MVP because you're not. And I compared it to the Tigers. The Tigers made the playoffs last year. They had Skubal. They didn't have a lot around him. They almost sold at the deadline. They did sell at the deadline, I think. But that was a game changer. A game changer for me. Regular season. So, comeback player, I gave the Story. A 10th player award, Romy Gonzalez. I don't think there's anyone else. I mean, rookie breakout, Roman Anthony. Reliever of the year, this was a tough one. Aroldis Chapman. My Dirt Dog award. Dirt Dog goes to Duran, right? That's biggest surprise. I think we're going to have a lot of different ones. I can post this too on the video as well. Or you could go back and I'm giving it to Carlos Narvaez. Because we didn't expect him to even be the number one catcher. He was a rookie. A rookie that has to catch as many games as he does in his first year and hit, which he did. I was not expecting this. I think you could put Romy Gonzalez in that. Some of you might put Chapman, but a surprise to me is somebody I'm not surprised at Chapman. I mean, Chapman has been in the big leagues for a long time. But if you look at like a true surprise, Connolly Early could get that. But I went with a guy that's an everyday player, and I think that was the biggest surprise. I also have my biggest disappointment of the season. And it's a situation. It's the Devers situation. That was overall disappointing, right? I get what Craig Breslow said, and I give him credit for what I've always kind of thought the last few regimes at times where I didn't know where they were going, right? Like, are we doing the farm system? Are we selling? Are we buying? They didn't put an emphasis on pitching the way I wanted to in the draft. What I like by Breslow, whether you like him or not, he makes those tough decisions. I mean, trading Rafael Devers, trading 4 prospects for Crochet, which at the time some people weren't sure on Crochet. He's made a lot of moves. He said no to Connolly Early. He did not want to trade him. We're going to emphasize pitching in the draft, and he went out and did it. Like he's a man of his word. Like he's defiant. It's still his first gig. He's in the second year of his first time doing this, which most leaders of an organization in their first time doing it aren't great right away. Dave Dombrowski will tell you that. I talked to Dave about that when he came to Portland. He was in player development. In his first GM job, he struggled. He had to lean on a lot of guys that he worked for. But I feel like there's now a plan in place where you can see where they are all in on young guys. They don't care. You're up. We're gonna give extensions to guys. They're very calculated now. You can certainly go back and analyze the Devers situation. They should have done that. Whatever. I don't want to get into all of that because we don't, everyone thinks they know everything about this because they read it on Twitter. You don't. You don't know all the stuff that goes on with agents. They step in the way. There's a lot of other stuff. And Breslow played. Cora played. They know all of that BS stuff. So I don't want to get into like, oh, they should have done this. They should have done that. Come on. I think the biggest thing was they brought in Bregman. That hurt his feelings. And It just didn't, it caused a lot. But I commend them for doing that. They knew that bringing in Bregman was going to maybe ruffle feathers, but they didn't care. And I like that because they're trying to win. And they gave him a lot of money. But I don't, that when it came up that we're going to win more games without him, okay, I flip that situation and say, if Devers was a model citizen, though, this year, I'll do anything you want. I love that you signed Bregman. I'll play first. I'll play left. Would they have kept him? The answer is 1,000% yes. If you hooked him up to a lie detector, they're not trading that guy. So that's why that situation is disappointing. It's disappointing that it just didn't work out. I know I'm not going to blame him. I'm not going to, because I know there's a lot of other things. Now, did he handle it the best? Probably not. And there's probably things on both sides. But the whole situation to me is disappointing because I don't think they're a better team with him out of the lineup. I don't know how I get all the better in terms of the way he was acting in the situation. They felt it would be better for the team as a whole, as a group, for clubhouse. That's a thing. Yes, but I'm saying if you flipped it and he was like Bregman, they keep him. So it's a disappointment. That was a disappointment. It happens. It happens. Not all marriages last. But it's disappointing. And hopefully both sides, the Giants and Red Sox, reap the benefits from this. I think Devers still had a pretty good run with the Giants and a good core piece, and we'll see if Kyle Harrison pans out as something for the Red Sox. All right, Monday comments at DBD Mac. I spent the last game of the regular season attending the Mariners versus the Dodgers. Nice. Crazy how many Dodger fans are in Seattle or traveled there. Yeah, I think they're everywhere. That's why this is why the schedule is why, right? Seattle has Japanese owners, right? And there's a big Japanese market there. And Ohtani draws everywhere. 60% of the fans were Dodger fans. I'd love to see the Sox or M's take on and beat the Dodgers in the series. Yeah, I have a personal for Seattle and the Dodgers. My former intern, Aaron Goldsmith, who was the TV voice of Seattle, is a good friend of mine. I was texting him yesterday. He's going to be doing radio for the playoff games, and I'm hoping that the Red Sox get to play Seattle so I can see him. And then Tim Neverett, who I know, would love to see him. I saw Tim in spring training. He's one of the radio broadcasters for the Dodgers. Him and Rick Monday. I spent some time with them during the spring. Rick Monday's an awesome guy. So I have just personal, I know most of the big league broadcasters on the playoff teams, but Seattle and the Dodgers would be great. At State of Mange, 1833. Well, I know that handle. It doesn't matter who the Sox play. I agree. If they're going all the way, they have to beat everyone. You're right. At Mark Barboza, 1407. All I want is none of these games broadcast on Apple TV ever again. WTF, what are you thinking, MLB? The most important game of the Sox on Apple. Well, Mark, first of all, that was predetermined, okay? Apple spends a lot of money with Major League Baseball. If you owned Apple and they bumped the game, you'd be mad. I think that there should be language put in the contract that a clinching game should be allowed to the TV broadcast, whether it was the Tigers that night, should be able to cover it. But I think a lot of you are going way overboard with Apple. It's not that big a deal. Sign up for a free subscription and cancel it. People are telling me that they can't get it on their smart TV. I mean, come on. Do I have to do a tutorial? When I turn on my TV, all my apps are down low. To get to my cable, I have to actually hit my input. The picture's pristine, and you can overlay Will Fleming and Will Middlebrooks. It's not that big a deal. I think people want to complain more about it. But come on. Some of the complaints about it are a little overboard. I love it. But I'm with you on a clinching game. But I don't think it's a big deal when they're on. I actually like it better. I can't get Nesson 360. So this is what I have a beef with Nesson. I have the Nesson 360 app through subscribing to Nesson, I can only watch. I have an huge TV, an LG. It's like 70 inches in my living room. But LG doesn't have a deal with Nesson, so I can't get the app in the LG store, or PlayStation won't carry it. But on the Apple TV box, which I have in my bedroom, on a smaller TV, I can get the 360 app and I can watch the Sox on 4K. That should not be a thing. I have a 4K TV that I spent a lot of money for that I cannot watch. Now, people said, oh, just put it on your phone and cast it. I shouldn't have to do that. So that to me is a bigger thing, you know. And also, I saw a lot of people saying, you're holding the Red Sox behind a paywall. Nesson's a paywall, the last time I checked. So, all right. The games are on ESPN, by the way. They all start at 1. Let's get your comments from today's show, your predictions. I'm going to go with the Sox in 2. I think it's going to be gritty, bullpen games, your predictions, your awards, and we'll talk to you on Wednesday and break this all down with the Sox and Yankees tonight, 608 Yankee Stadium. As always, on your way out, subscribe to the channel, follow me on social, @the Radio Mike, and go Sox.